Live with coverage you trust. This is NBC 10 News at 6.
Now at 6, call the lawyers. A woman who says she was raped on campus presses the case, even though grand jurors found a lack of evidence. But first, new developments in that house of horrors in Blackstone, where the remains of 3 infants were found and where the mother of at least 2 kids who were pulled out of that home remains held on a host of charges tonight. Police say the skeletal remains of animals were also found inside, along with piles of dirty diapers. Unspeakable filth. 4 children were taken out of the home 2 weeks ago, ages 13, 10, 3, and 5 months. They're all in state custody tonight. The Boston Globe says the 3-year-old cannot walk and makes few sounds. The 5-month-old shows signs of not being used to sunlight. They're all getting medical treatment. A man who lived there, probably the children's father, has not been charged. We have Team 10 coverage tonight. Let's begin in court. Susie Steimel leads off tonight.
31-year-old Erica Murray stares straight ahead, emotionless, as she's arraigned in court. She faces charges of fetal death concealment, neglect, animal cruelty, witness intimidation, and permitting substantial injury to a child. Police found the remains of 3 infants, dead animals, and garbage inside her now condemned home. 4 kids were living there. Police confirmed 2 were hers. The other 2 do not have birth records.
How can you hear the allegations and not be shocked that something like this could happen?
Keith Halpern represents Erica Murray. He confirms she's struggling with her mental health.
Put aside the issues of the tragedies involving the allegations of these infants, just the circumstances of living in a house like that or trying to raise kids in a house like that. How can you not be shocked?
Halpern pleaded not guilty on her behalf and made an agreement with the prosecution.
We have an agreement that she be held without bail, without prejudice.
Court records have been impounded in this case to protect the children involved. Murray is due back in court October 14th. In Uxbridge, Susie Steimel, NBC 10 News.
All right, Team 10 coverage continues now at the scene in Blackstone, where child services had been called in before. NBC 10's Sierra Putman is live at the house now with a look at the timeline of events. Sierra.
Well, Gene, where I'm standing, we can actually see into the back of Murray's home. And tonight we know that the Department of Children and Families were here 7 years ago.
My daughter and I decided that we would come by because we couldn't believe it. We had to see it for ourselves to realize, wow, this really happened in this community.
This home on St. Paul Street in Blackstone is the center of a disturbing investigation involving dead infants, children in state custody, and a home filled with feces and vermin.
The police station is right there. It's just, I'm mortified.
It's hard
disgusting.
To believe.
I can't. It's really sad.
NBC 10 learned the Department of Children and Families first got a call to the home of 31-year-old Erica Murray 7 years ago. The department went to the home but says the claims were, quote, unsupported and therefore no case was opened. Fast forward to August 28, 2014, when the state agency removed 4 children ages 1 to 13 from the home after getting called by police. While the kids were in state custody, police worked to get a warrant to look inside the home. On Wednesday, they got in. What they found forced them to block off part of the street and go in wearing hazmat suits. The next day, they reported it was a house of horrors. They uncovered the bodies of 3 dead infants, animal carcasses, as well as feces and dirty diapers. That same day, police arrested Erica Murray. On Friday, she was charged and accused of numerous crimes, including fetal death concealment. This is no doubt just the beginning. We still don't know how the infants died or how long their bodies were in the home. And tonight, there are still a lot of gaps in this timeline. Maybe we will learn more by next month. That's when Murray is due back in court. Reporting live in Blackstone, Sierra Putman, NBC 10 News.
Sierra, thanks. The story is making news around the world tonight, picked up by all the wire services, Sky News, the BBC. Team 10 coverage continues locally now. Who was Erica Murray? Seems she may have been living a double life. NBC 10's Tony Gugliotta is live in Blackstone with that part of the story. Tony.
Well, Gene, reports of filth and squalor inside this house behind me, but if you looked online, Erica Murray seems like your regular, average, everyday neighbor. Older children enjoying a birthday party. A cake she baked herself. Her daughter on a swing set. These are pictures every young mom likes to post on Facebook, priding about her kids. But what this young mom is keeping offline is any reference to her giving birth or fostering newborns. That's why this community is in a state of shock to hear that 3 bodies of babies have been found amidst abhorrent conditions inside.
And the kids are all hearing about it in school. People are talking. And that's why it's important that we get information so we can protect our children and kind of teach them about what's going on in a very safe and trusting manner.
The information we do have is chilling. The piles of garbage, used diapers, and dirt inside the house. 4 children taken into custody by the state, all the while their mother cultivating an all-American image. NBC 10 has learned that Murray was into crafts. In fact, she was a vendor at this small craft store in Whitensville, Massachusetts. People inside tell me she pulled out from being a vendor a couple of weeks ago, but they had no indication that anything was wrong. Store representatives tell me they sold candle holders and other handmade crafts from Murray in the store. They didn't know her well, nor had they been to her home. They, along with other members of this small community, are obviously shocked by the revelations of the life she led.
It's very disturbing. Restless night, sleep last night, knowing that they found the 3 infants.
The Department of Children and Family Services did not return my call seeking a well-being check on the children. The Worcester County District Attorney tells me this complicated story continues to be investigated. And obviously the neighborhood, the community still reeling here after the reports of what was in fact inside this house came out. They're planning a vigil for the children this Sunday, 6 o'clock, the athletic fields at the elementary school. Live in Blackstone, Mass, Tony Gugliotta, NBC 10 News.
All right, stay with NBC 10 for the latest on the investigation. A terrible story still developing tonight. We'll have updates as the information comes in on turnto10.com. All right, new details tonight on an NBC 10 I-Team exclusive. Allegations of sex assault involving 2 Brown University students. Now, the men were cleared by a grand jury, but there are more questions tonight and new lawyers involved. The I-Team's Katie Davis reports.
A grand jury didn't find enough evidence for criminal charges, but for a young woman who says she was raped by 2 Brown University football players, that's not the end of the story. She's hired high-powered attorney Wendy Murphy, known for representing victims of sexual assault. Murphy tells the NBC 10 I-Team her client wants access to records in the case, but so far that hasn't happened. Search warrant affidavits obtained by the I-Team were sealed 1 day later.
This woman is trying to get justice for herself, and I think she needs to be supported.
State Senator Dawson Hodgson is running as a Republican for Attorney General, hoping to replace current AG Peter Kilmartin.
If I'm elected Attorney General, we will put a fresh set of eyes on it. We will be within the statute of limitations period, and we'll make the proper determination about whether it's appropriate for prosecution.
So you're saying if you're elected, criminal charges are still a possibility?
They are still a possibility.
But the AG's office tells me the case was already thoroughly investigated and reviewed. Quote, while we as prosecutors do not always agree with the grand jury's conclusion, our system of law requires capital offenses to be brought to a grand jury so the public can have confidence in the outcome.
Brown University tells me one of the young men accused in the case is back here on campus attending classes this fall. The other no longer attends the university.
Brown won't comment on specifics in the case, but the documents obtained by the I-Team detail disturbing text messages sent between the 2 suspects and a 3rd Brown student. All 3 were Brown football players at the time. Quote, oh my God, dude, that girl slept in my roommate's bed, reads one message. Quote, no invite, just walks in and starts raping her, reads another. The affidavits also say an explicit naked image of the woman was found on one man's iPhone. She's filed a public records request for those texts and photos as well as other evidence the grand jury reviewed. The AG's office tells me that request is now under review. I'm I-Team reporter Katie Davis, NBC 10 News, Providence.
If you have a tip for the I-Team, call it in 401-455-9123 or send an email, iTeam@WJAR.com. All right, new at 6 now, a deadly test drive. We're learning more about a fatal motorcycle accident and the young victim. Reward offered. Authorities want to know who shot and killed a pit bull puppy in Providence.
And Gene, we've got some rain on the way for the weekend. Not a lot, but the timing could upset some of your afternoon and evening plans tomorrow. I'll let you know how Sunday is shaping up. We'll talk about the northern lights. Can you see them tonight here in southern New England? I'll let you know in just a few minutes.
Closed captioning on NBC 10 is brought to you by Cardi's Furniture. Nairobi offers same-day mattress eye delivery 7 days a week.
All right, new details now on a fatal motorcycle crash. Police say the 19-year-old on the bike was speeding on a used motorcycle he took out for a test drive. Happened last night on Route 37 West. The victim has been identified as Ryan A. Barata of Somerset. Now, the owner knew something was wrong when he didn't come back. It's all under investigation.
He was traveling at a high rate of speed. He was wearing a helmet at that time as well.
Because he didn't own the bike, he was test driving the bike. That makes it a little more difficult with the investigation, right?
Yes, that's something we are looking into right now to determine the facts that led up to the crash, where he was prior to that. It is our understanding that he was a prospective buyer of the bike and had taken it out for a test drive.
It's the third fatal accident in the city this year. All right, new at 6 now, a $1,000 reward is offered after a pit bull puppy was shot and killed in Providence. Happened Sunday night around 7:30 in the backyard of a home on Regent Avenue in the Valley section. The puppy, 9 months old Ruby, was playing with a group of children in the backyard when a shot rang out and the dog let out a yelp and then slumped over. She was rushed to the vet but couldn't be saved. A sharp-tipped pellet pierced the dog's intestine.
The muzzle velocity that can be generated from a pellet or a BB gun is significant enough to kill an animal. We've narrowed it down to one of potentially 3 other houses in the neighborhood where the shot could have possibly come from. The backyard is relatively secluded. There's no access or visual line of sight from the roadway.
All right, neighbors said that complaints had come in about the dog barking and running loose in the neighborhood. There may have been an angry neighbor. If you have information, call the Rhode Island SPCA 401-438-8150 or email them cruelty@rispca.com. Coverage of Trust continues now. New at 6, shatter suspect, a local woman under arrest for having and making marijuana and doing something different with it. Sounds like she knows her chemistry. A 19-year-old Burrillville High School graduate is under arrest. She's accused of turning marijuana into high-grade hash oil known as shatter. NBC 10's RJ Heim has more.
4 pounds of high-quality marijuana with a street value of nearly $25,000 was on display at the Burrillville Police Headquarters. But what else the detectives say they found at 19-year-old Kayla Richards' residence was unusual. 33 grams of shatter, cooked, high-concentrated hash oil, baked into peanut brittle-like patties that can be broken into small pieces and smoked without the typical pot smell. That, according to police, goes for $50 a gram on the street and is highly potent.
This is a substantial arrest for the town of Burrillville, a substantial seizure.
A large-scale, sophisticated manufacturing and distribution operation. Glass cylinders, butane to extract the THC, the potent part of the marijuana, and a vacuum oven to cook up the final product.
It's an ongoing investigation. We plan to follow up all different leads.
Now, based on complaints from neighbors about unusual activity here at 531 Victory Highway, detectives began surveillance of the property back in December of last year, finally got a warrant and made the arrest early Friday morning.
She really didn't offer too much, but she was calm. It was kind of odd.
With marijuana being decriminalized in many parts of the country, the Burrillville police say what was being done just 2 miles down the road from their station is still a crime.
They're able to take it one step more now, and that's what we're starting to see.
Richard is being held on $50,000 bond. RJ Heim, NBC 10 News in Burrillville.
Sentenced for stealing, an accountant learns her fate for embezzling from the Urban League. 42-year-old Manavone Fimmahome was sentenced to 3 years for stealing more than $250,000 from the nonprofit she worked for. She gets a year at the ACI. After that, 2 years home confinement. She was also ordered to pay all of the money back. She'll undergo treatment for gambling addictions. Fimmahome embezzled the money over 4.5 years, starting in 2006. All right, new developments now. The Bristol County DA appoints a special prosecutor to investigate a gun case involving the mayor of Fall River. Mayor Will Flanagan had asked for the special prosecutor to investigate, having been accused of threatening a city councilor with a gun. Councilor Jazel Correa says Flanagan showed him the gun during a late-night discussion about a recall drive involving the mayor. Flanagan admits carrying a gun, but says he never threatened the councilor. Correa said he would not press charges against Flanagan, but it will be investigated now by the DA. From the NBC 10 Money Watchers tonight, the $100 million investment in New Bedford's South Terminal has been rewarded. Cape Wind, the first offshore wind project, today announced that it has signed a lease agreement to stage its project in New Bedford. That means it will assemble the wind turbines there, up to 130 of them, creating 600 to 1,000 jobs. It will also pay rent, $4.5 million the first 2 years that it uses that terminal. It will assemble them there, then truck them out to Hyannis and plant them in the ocean offshore. If you have a tip for the Money Watchers, send it in. The email address is news@WJAR.com. All right, new details now. After 3 weeks, the former USS Saratoga has made it to its final destination way down in Texas. The aircraft carrier arrived near South Padre Island and it's making its way through the shipping channel. This is video from August 21st when the ship left Newport on its final voyage. The Saratoga will now be taken apart and sold for scrap. It was launched in 1955 and commissioned in 1956, serving nearly 38 years in the Navy.
Now, Checkmark's Storm Team 10 forecast.
A lot of people came out to see the Saratoga off as it was moving out of Newport 3 weeks ago. So, all right, tonight, Gene, looking at clear sky, we have potential to see some upper 40s in some locations late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Clear sky, light wind, very dry air, low 60s at 9 o'clock, and certainly low 50s by 7 a.m. But again, a few communities may get to the upper 40s. Back in the upper 60s by noontime, sunshine in the morning, and then a few clouds begin to fill in later in the morning, turning cloudy for us in the afternoon with scattered showers later tomorrow into tomorrow night. So if you're planning your outdoor activities, tomorrow morning looks okay, and all day Sunday looks fine. The chance for rain this weekend is in the afternoon and the evening tomorrow. 76 and 59, the high and low today, and 76 and 57, our averages. So pretty close to that. 91, 2005's record high, and 42 the record low from 1917. Again, mainly clear for us this evening. Sunset's just around 7 o'clock tonight. Should be a nice clear one or just a few thin clouds out there. Some cloudiness to our west, but really the thicker clouds near Cleveland tonight. And then that rain is approaching Chicago. We'll see the rain come in from our west and also some moving up from the south, sort of a convergence of these two systems moving in on us. But clear sky for us tonight. A lot of people asking about the northern lights. You know, it's very, very rare that we see them this far south, even with the amount of radiation that's hitting the Earth's atmosphere. Big coronal mass ejection from the sun yesterday, and another round of radiation hitting us tonight into tomorrow morning. So it is more likely that you'll see them in northern New England and certainly highly likely in Quebec, but it's a slight possibility that we see them this far south. Certainly want to get away from light. You want to look to the north later tonight after dark, and you'll have the chance for seeing that if it is to happen here in southern New England, really at any time tonight. Off to the north, away from light. Again, slight chance. All right, beautiful picture. The live camera here of our People's Credit Union Skycam network as we look from Tockwatton on the waterfront over toward Providence. And you can see again just a mainly clear sky. Going to make for a pretty sunset here shortly. It's 69 degrees. Our humidity is at 61%. The wind's picked up now from the south-southeast at about 8 miles an hour. 74 in the city of Providence, Attleboro and Woonsocket, 70 tonight, already 67 for us in Taunton, 66 New Bedford. So you see the partly to mostly clear sky, I should say partly cloudy to mostly clear sky in place tonight. And then tomorrow afternoon from the west and from our south will come those rain showers, increasing our chances for some rain after 3 or 4 p.m. Scattered showers in the evening, clearing out by Sunday morning. Nice and sunny Sunday. Temperatures both days this weekend should top out around the low 70s. We'll have an east wind tomorrow, so it'll be a touch cooler here in eastern Massachusetts and the Cape in the 60s. Most of us around 70 to 73 before the clouds increase later on in the afternoon. 3 to 5 mile visibility. Good day on the bay with that east wind at 5 to 10 knots. Early morning low tide at 4:33. High tides near noontime. Low 70s Saturday, Sunday, Monday. After the rain showers move out very early Sunday morning, like 3, 4 a.m. It's nice and clear for most of the day. Monday is sunny. Gene, Tuesday, we've got some showers coming in here. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looking dry, looking cooler as we head toward the tail end of next week. That's the latest.
Might be the change coming by. All right, sports is next now. Another black eye for the NFL. Joe Kayana has the details on the latest incident. On TV tonight, Running Wild with Bear Grylls at 8, Dateline NBC at 9, the night team at 11. Make sure you check out my radio show on WPRO, weekday mornings from 6 to 9. Traffic and weather on the 6s, the news of the day. And we have a little fun, too. The WPRO Morning News with me, News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM, 6 to 9 weekdays on the radio.
Well, what a week it's been for the NFL PR department. First, the Ray Rice saga. Now reports say the Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson has been indicted by a Montgomery County, Texas grand jury on charges of reckless or negligent injury to a child. Multiple media reports say the charges stem from allegations that Peterson beat his young son. Fox 26 in Houston is reporting that it was with a wooden stick known as a switch. Peterson has yet to be arrested. The Vikings released a statement late this afternoon saying that they're gathering information on Peterson's legal situation, deferring all questions to his lawyer. Now, you remember last October, Peterson's 2-year-old son died in South Dakota after being allegedly assaulted by a man who was dating the boy's mother. And it just happens that the Patriots will visit the Vikings this Sunday for a Week 2 showdown. It's not known yet on whether Adrian will play or not. Meanwhile, New England will be looking to avoid a losing streak. The first 2 games of the season since 2001, but that season ended up pretty good for them, huh? A Super Bowl. Meanwhile, the players don't seem too worried just yet.
It's weird losing every time you lose. It doesn't matter, first game, last game, whenever it is. That's never, being a competitor, that's never something that you look forward to.
You know, nobody likes to lose, but it happens. It's happened before, so we just got to figure out how to make some improvements and go out there and do a lot better next week.
After breaking their 4-game losing streak last night in Kansas City, the Boston Red Sox will get right back to work tonight with the Royals at 8 p.m. Just 15 games left in the season for Boston. Allen Webster will make the start for the Red Sox. The Ball Sox are on the brink of elimination tonight when they take on the Durham Bills. Game 4 of the Governor's Cup Finals from North Carolina. Pawtucket trails the best-of-5 series 2-1. Eduardo Rodriguez will take the mound for the Ball Sox. Highlights at 11 here on NBC 10. Well, it's fight night from Twin River Casino tonight. One Rhode Island's Rich Gingras steps into the ring against Irish Joey McCready in the main event. Both boxers putting their championships belt on the line. And if you like watching a brawl, then you'll want to be in attendance for tonight's fight.
Yeah, so everybody's anticipating a war, basically. Not much of a boxing match, but more of a war. His style is very similar to mine. He comes forward, he's very aggressive, he likes to attack the body. The same exact things I could say about myself, my own style.
And tonight we kick off another edition of Friday Night Lights. Our photographers will be spread across southern New England, capturing you the sights and sounds of the first big week of high school football. One of those games is East Providence visiting Mount Pleasant. Sports Team 10's Frank Carpano has a preview.
All right, thank you very much, Joe, here at Conley Stadium. Our featured game tonight, Mount Pleasant taking on East Providence. First game of the season, a non-league game, and the 2 head coaches are with me. Paul Rayo from Mount Pleasant. Another year and another move up in division.
Another move up. You know, hopefully we can compete like we did in the years past, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Jay Montero's a first-year coach at East Providence. How you feeling, Coach?
Well, I'm nervous. You know, my first year as the head coach at East Providence High School, and I know we're just trying to do the best we can. You know, you get a lot of athletes, and we're just trying. Hopefully, we can contain them.
New coach means probably a new system. How have the kids taken to that?
They're taking to it. You know, they're young. I have a lot of first-year starters. When I came in, we brought in a whole brand new system, brought in a whole brand new offensive system and defensive system. So we worked hard all camp, and hopefully we can do well today.
You graduated some pretty talented kids. How much are you looking forward to see what these group of Mount Pleasant Kilties can give you?
We did. We lost some somewhat irreplaceable talent, but we got a strong group of seniors here, and they bring a lot to the table also. So hopefully we have enough here to show we can be competitive.
All right, coaches, thank you very much. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
That's a story from Conley Stadium in Providence. We'll have all the highlights coming your way tonight on the night team, Joe.